Transformers Earthspark Expedition is a video game based on Transformers Earthspark, and it's an all-around awful adaptation of the source material. It opens with just the worst recap scene, wherein the characters describe the first season's events in an entirely out-of-character charade. Then you're thrown into an incredible excuse plot which sees an old villain return, absent of any of his former charm or gravitas. And while we're here, the entire cast is missing their charm. There's so much dialogue and so much voice acting, but none of the show's soul is present. There's no chaos, no energy, no chemistry. If there's one thing that can be said in favor of the show Earthspark, it's that its character writing was phenomenal. Everyone had a rich personality, and the show was as much a slice-of-life sitcom as it was an action romp. But here, everyone's missing all their finer comedic nuances and charisma. It's hard to understate just how joyously goofy Earthspark is, and how little Expedition does to capture its playful exuberance. Inexplicably, this is an open-world beat-em-up wherein progress is gated behind an influence bar. The more activities you complete on the map, the closer you get to the next story mission. It's not a terrible system on its surface, but its implementation is wretched. So few of the activities are worth significant influence points, so you still end up railroaded to a handful of the same important tasks. The illusion of freedom has never been more paper thin. To worsen the warts, the open world design is criminally bland. There are no set pieces to draw your eye, nothing of beauty or interest on the skyline, and there are walls absolutely everywhere, funneling you along predetermined paths. It fails to evoke the imagination. There's no wonder, no majesty, no call to adventure, just a checklist of chores. Very occasionally, there are some hints of proper pathfinding, but they stick out sharply amidst a sea of supreme mediocrity. So the storytelling is bad, the exploration is bad, but that still leaves the combat, right? And it's arguably the best part, but that's not high praise. It feels like they just threw some staple mechanics together with no regard for how they mesh. You've got your regular light and heavy attacks, slow-mo perfect dodges, parries, Arkham-inspired omnidirectional combat, but there's no balance to any of it. I played on hard mode and found button mashing to be a perfectly valid strategy, particularly with the abundance of health kits lying around. The game does try to vary things up with unlockable skills, but they all lacked impact, and some of them break the game even further. New locations and new enemy types try to add variety, but adding more mechanics to the mix just makes the game even messier. The highlight of my experience was this fight with a mini-boss, where I kept hitting him in the back over and over, and I guess he just slipped on a banana peel each time or something. Then he finally snapped out of the loop, and I instantly blew him up with a nearby explosive barrel. Peak slapstick material. And I hate to kick the game while it's already down, but it's such a wasted opportunity that they make you play as Bumblebee. The show has a massive cast, but of primary interest are the Terrans, the human-robot hybrids born on Earth. It would be much more fitting to let you play as Thrash or Twitch instead. Basically, if you like beat-em-ups, open-world games, or Transformers Earthspark, this is bad at being all three.